already taken away from Key. I'm looking for the Morgana for Key. Key's Morgana has looked absolutely fantastic, whether they're funneling it or not. And him on Mages, just in general, is a treat to watch. Aatrox going to be banned away here by Hanwha Life as their first ban on the red side. Seems like KT may have been able to put some time into the Aatrox. Of course, Yukal liked the old one in the mid lane.
Played the old one and then played the new one at Rift Rivals, so understandable that it's going to be banned against him. We've seen the Swain ban. Swain fell through picks and bans once in our previous series, which seemed peculiar. He is very, very flexible.
Certainly Deft a big fan, but he's going to be taken away by KT.
And again, we get the scenario where Zoe and
Nocturne
are both up. And how do you navigate such a scenario? Yukal is a noted Galio player, so perhaps he's happy for the Tillia to go the way of Hanwha Life. Let's wait and see how they approach. The Nocturne first pick would be insta-locked if it was left open.
That'd be the absolute dream, and Sejuani is going to put KT towards that position. Means that we may not get the Kindred if it isn't banned away, but the Zoe looking like an option for first pick if Hanwha Life realize that Nocturne is still available.
Nocturne and the Zoe. The big picks left open. You wonder how this final ban will go. Do you ban neither and try to take away whatever's left open? Probably the Zoe, you would have to assume. They ban the Nocturne. KT have done very well against Zoe. Yukal, of course, could play it himself. Will it just be locked in? We'll wait and see. Sejuani taken, so Kindred and Gragas are really conspicuous, and Gragas, one of the best picks for score. To me, the best Gragas player we have in Korea next to Ambition. Of course, the Gragas is a flex pick as well. They just go for the stock standard, they go to the tier list, they go to the Zoe.
Yep, Zoe going to be locked away. Pretty understandable, has been well and truly up there despite the nerfs to the W. And Hanwha Life Esports now a couple of picks to round out this comp. Vladimir standing out, something like that.
The rise of Vladimir is usually a first round for them, but they might just first round Kindred. Songwon is the only other person in Korea who's played the Kindred. Wasn't a win.
Spirit today.
Yep, wasn't a win for Songwon when he played it. They got snowballed on, and they're going to deny away Kindred. Wonder where Score goes against Zoldfo, because he just might be on Jungle Gragas duty to knock people out of the Lamb's Respite.
Exactly right, and Smeb already alluded to it. They were hovering the Gragas, and Score, of course, been playing for so incredibly long. Gragas certainly was one of his most successful champions. Syndra, very early pickup here from Hanwha Life.
Now, I want to point something out. We have to point this out. Deft has been playing Zoe bot lane in solo queue. And you can understand the Syndra into Zoe because she can't disengage the ultimate with her ultimate.
Yes.
Portal jump, she still gets obliterated by the Unleashed Power. But this would confirm the matchup if they do just go for Varus. So it seems just to be people trying stuff out.
Varus Tahm Kench, certainly an opportunity here for KT to just pick it up one after the other. Mata proved that he was one of the best Tahm Kenches in the world. There was one match at Rift Rivals, can't quite remember exactly which one it was, but it was unbelievable. Not going to be picked up here, though, because it looks like they're considering the Gragas.
They have to choose. If you don't take the Tahm Kench now, it'll be banned. If you don't take the Gragas now, and they've already hovered it twice, it will also be banned. So we'll see if Yukal's just furthering the mind game here. He is.
Oh, okay. We're going to switch over to the Morgana.
Support Morgana seems to be coming through from Mata. More proactive than the Tahm Kench. Seems like they'll be giving up the Gragas, or maybe getting a free Gragas ban. Maybe the Gragas is the proverbial burner team, like we talked about with SKT when it came to Rift Rivals, as something that's saying, hey, this is interesting. Why not waste a ban on it?
Yep. Certainly is something that you have to respect from Score as well, as Hanwha Life thinking about a very early Mundo, which means that they'll be priced into top lane bans as well, Papa Smithy. They have to ban the Darius. Still a few other options as well. I mean, Rumble early, decent into the old Mundo.
It's decent till it's really bad, though, so that'd be a risk. But the Cannon will have to be banned. The Cannon's the obvious ban there because it's Smeb, and Smeb has been willing to go AP, which is a tricky matchup. So you kind of think that Darius Cannon is already must-ban territory for Hanwha Life Esports.
And
for
Darius
KT
is going to be taken away, that makes sense.
For KT, they pretty much know the lane assignments. Now, Hanwha Life has played top lane Syndra already this season, but that was into the Darius matchup, you'll remember.
Yeah.
When they were going flex bit crazy with their Tahm Kench Singed duo lane. Things that happened this season for 500.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, they're taking a while to figure out this first ban. Tahm Kench from KT going to be taken away, of course, already with the Morgana, and in a standard duo by the looks.
And it's something to allow the Kindred to push up a bit further, because one of the issues with Kindred jungle is you can't face check to put down vision. You fall behind in vision and the Kindred dies. So Tom Kanche, good evacuation maneuver is going to be denied. Surely if you ban Darius, you have to ban the cannon.
Unless they ban the Gragas. That's probably what they were thinking about, but the cannon had to be banned.
But I think if you ban Darius Gragas, then you're just giving a free cannon, so it just invalidates the Darius ban.
Nothing worse than a free cannon on the other side of the rift.
Hey, Dr. Mundo already had a hard time against Gnar. It's even worse against Mundo and Darius.
Yeah. What are they going to do to combat this bottom lane as well from KT? Because that's a lot of pushing power and a lot of strength. They have the next ban. Braum is going to be taken away, so Key's champion pool getting attacked just a little bit.
Would Sangyun play the bot lane?
Syndra.
Syndra, I wonder, because you could definitely consider it. It's good against Morgana because you can poke out the Black Shield very easily, so given that Sangyun's already been playing mages, you wonder if this will be a marksman or whether they'll stay with that trend. Here is a marksman. This would be the Ashe just trying to keep range, 600 range to lane safely against the Varus, and we wondered about the really crazy homebrew. Instead, it's the standard.
Extremely standard, just archery happening on the bottom side of the map. It's been a while since the meta has been Varus Ashe, but certainly was a very prevalent one in its time. Now going to head back there, saving counterpick for support by the looks, unless it's going to be the Syndra. As good God, Smeb, would you do it?
This would be, let's YOLO the game and win really fast. This is 2017 spring, baby. We're not going to get it.
This is not, that was actually the classic pick into the Mundo at Rift Rivals. This one isn't. The Ornn just going to be a tank off and a lot of initiation for KT.
But it's also the pendulum revealed as Score is going to be jumping on the Camille. It was, do you want to smash early game? Do you want to scale? And Ornn is towards the early game, but a bit in the middle. You're proactive with it like you would be with a Rumble.
Yep.
Hanwha Life rounding out their draft. They're looking for a top laner, as far as we can tell.
No, support.
That's true.
Unless it's going to be the Mundo.
My mind went elsewhere. So counterpick support, like you mentioned, something to poke out the Morgana. The Nami hasn't been played in the LCK for a long time. They're going to take it, unreliable champion, and also something where if that first CC hits, she's dead.
Yeah, she most certainly is. However, if there is tempo advantage for the Ashe Nami in lane, good God, it's oppressive. You get that E down on top of the Ashe, the Tidecaller's blessing, and you are slowing for about 1 billion with every auto attack.
Not a big fan of slowing slows, though. She already has a slow. I understand the pick. But
it's really slow.
We've seen many homebrew answers to Morgana's support in spring. The Vel'Koz support was the big one. That could have been considered here. They go the Nami, that's a more balanced champion. It's good for disengaging some things on the side of KT, but it also dies for free against Yukal, Deft, and Mud. So that's kind of the issue I see is, how do you position and not die out of lane as the Nami?
Well, we'll see whether Key can navigate it. I think that if there's any sort of caster-based support on the bottom side of the map, I would definitely give it to Key. The guy is very, very good when it comes to setting up his AD carry with these ranged supports.
And his team set him up. They said, you get last pick, counter pick. He says, I want to counter pick for lane. They're going to have to make it work there. They don't allow Deft and Mada to open up the map because too many teams have played with fire and lost with precisely that approach.
They've got extraordinarily burned Papa, and doesn't matter what the lane is, Smarter and Deft seem to know how to navigate it, but this could be a really difficult one as we move further into the game, exactly like you illustrated. And Black Shield used at the right time will really allow Deft to have a lot of freedom on that bottom side of the map as well. Not to mention the amount of damage amplification he'll have moving into the rest of the game as well from that point.
I'm so hyped for Kindred versus Camille. The junglers could be huge in this game.
Exactly. We'll see whether Score keeps up his good form from his birthday or whether it's Songwon that's going to disrupt it on his signature pick. Let's get into game one. Well, KT fans winning this time around when it comes to the fan chants, but Hanwha Life yet to pick up all of theirs just yet. And with a win here, certainly will be making more fans.
Really good crowd in, though, for the LCK today. A lot of people been waiting to watch their teams after the Rift Rivals break. Also, since the last time we convened, a lot of people on break from university, from college, from school. It's the summer holidays in Korea. It's the thing about the summer season. It's pretty lean for the first 3 or 4 weeks because it's around exam time, but everyone gets a bit freed up. We get more fans in. Hanwha Life growing pretty quick now that they have their huge sponsor. Kind of really difficult to explain how big Hanwha is because they have no footprint outside of Korea, but in Korea they are a mega corporation, I guess, the best way to put it.
One of the few mega corporations. Just look up the economics of Korea.
A chaebol
it's a
is
very,
the word.
yeah, it's a very interesting
Hey,
read.
look at this. Last time we saw Nami, it's been a while, you haven't been calling me. It's been June last year, over a year with no Nami.
Yeah, and it was Tucson losing to a Karma support as well. Oh, how times have changed.
And good news, it's not the River Spirit skin, so we don't have to tell her to shut up.
Oh, thank God for that. However, I hope that she is going to be spamming some emotes.
We've taught our support champions well. Pyke finally has his inside voice, and this Nami doesn't need to shut up.
Well, Songwon, he's going to pop his way over here as the ward goes down, and Score wants to try and find him. I'm not sure whether the hook shot's off cooldown, but there it is. Wants to find the next auto as Score might lose this one. Smites come in, and first blood goes to Score. Good God, that could have gone either way, though.
That was so dirty between the two. It looked like Score had messed it up, but instead, he's the one to smite first to get the kill in. Nicely done, and even Yukal walks up. However, he takes a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's going to get one more Q most likely here from Lava. Has to flash it. The autos were doing so much work, and KT frisky to start this one.
And Score already looking to profit from this. Risky for Yukal to stay, but the only reason he'd stay is if Score was there, so Lava problem solves pretty well.
Yeah, wants to try and get themselves a good back, but Score has to be a little bit careful here. Dash cannon. And Yukal predicted a juke, but doesn't get it.
Might have been burst range there, but not electrocute, so it wouldn't have been quite as much damage if the trouble bubble had hit on that last play. Score says thank you very much. He knows that Kindred's bot side, so he gets double scuttle as well. And somehow, against the champion that he monopolized the early camps, he's doing it against it as well.
Exactly, and also it's double duty when it comes to the Kindred, because you deny the marks that are going to be on Rift Scuttler every first one. So gonna get a whole lot out of it. Also gets Linderung to move completely away from his turret, as Songwon gonna get ignited as he was trying to steal a Raptor camp. Mata was very upset about him doing that.
Mata had the bootstrap out and says, no,
yeah, right.
Get away from Kindred's Raptors. I like it.
It's like
and now
some
Score's
very
being
old,
an epic jerk.
Yeah, it's like some very old primary school teacher type antics, you know, smack him with the ruler.
He knew that Ignite wasn't gonna kill. That was about sending a message.
It said loud and clear. As Linderung has to deal with the fact that Smeb's building himself some items. Sapphire Crystal does come in inside the enemy jungle. Bad manners across the board as we've got a camp denied as well on the Raptor side. And Songwon is just so far behind. This Gromp actually is struggling to take this one down as well.
He needs to heal back, amusingly.
Yeah, it really
there
does.
it is.
There, finally. Thank God we had the buff. If this was the first time that Score played the champion, it would have been a different story. However, killing the camps was a little bit easier.
Yeah, if you get executed on 8-13 with the heal back in, I think, you know, I don't think we can talk about you anymore.
Yeah, Songwon, you probably need to go back to the drawing board on that pick.
Score is a frisky old man recently.
Oh, yeah.
Kindred has just, as a champion, playing so much Kindred has empowered every pick he takes.
I feel like he's hit a second wind or something like that. You know, you hit your prime again or something like that.
He's like, I'm still 4 years away from 30. I can do it.
Yeah, he's just learnt this, though. You know, he's realized, wait, my life isn't over once I hit 30. Which is something we only just recently figured out.
He's 26, to be clear.
I know. He's getting there. As far as our other players, I mean, Yukal, he doesn't even understand what 30 means.
That's true. Chovy, even further away.
Yeah.
Remember, there is a 9-year age gap between Yukal and Score, so you can imagine, given Korean hierarchical structure, you definitely listen to what Score tells you.
He is the most young, which is the word for an older person, the respectful word that you use here in Korea.
Well, Score is everyone's young when it comes to how long he's been around this scene.
Oh, yeah,
Bot
and
lane,
the amount of respect he gets as well.
Bot lane a bit of a struggle as topside.
Yeah, good counter gank timing here for Songwon as he sets it down. Flash immediately from Smeb to try and get out Bella's breath. Not enough as Score still wants it. Gets the stun, actually jumps off, but no! It's a double kill and Songwon well back in the game.
Seems like bad communication between Score and Smeb. They give up a double to the side of the enemy. Kindred have been so well denied. Health bar was already so low onto Smeb. The only reason to keep skirmishing is to try to abuse the shorter death timers and get a good back as mid lane.
Yeah, immediately the cleanse comes down. They're looking for the kill here as Key gets ignited underneath the turret. And Yuka wants one back, doesn't get one. The turret wasn't on lava. All of his mana are expended, and they get the kill in the mid lane. Hanwha life, 3-1.
Really nice roam timing as well. Things falling apart.
Binding lands. Mata taking things into his own hands here. Wants to get the last auto flashes for it. Not going to get it. Ebb and flow is enough for Key to keep him alive.
There's some great baiting going on by Hanwha Lives. Out of nowhere, Score is suddenly against a Kindred who is 2-1-0. Going to have gold parity with him as well. The map control he had gotten is almost entirely gone. The counter roams from Key have been good to see, and now suddenly KT have to wake up quickly. The nightmare has only just begun.
Yeah, now it's item advantage here for Songwon as well, when it was so much in favor of Score. Just everything going the wrong way. Looking down the bottom side of the map, Deft is certainly something that we can hang our hats on as far as being KT Rolster fans, but Sangyun only a few CS behind, and Key has been everywhere this game.
Oh boy. This is definitely the KT Rolster vs Hanwha Life we knew to expect.
This is what we wanted.
Back on 2 feet on ground in Korea. We knew what to expect, Max. We're 1 step ahead. A lot of farming going on bot side. Double visit to the Cull. You don't see that very often, but a counter Cull came through from Sangyun after
How
he had
often
a
do you
CS
get
lead.
to talk about the counter Cull?
Only when Marin gets styled on when he picks one of his Cull champions. Do we see counter Culls?
Mm-hmm. He picks Cull in losing matchups, you know?
He picks Cull every matchup.
Yeah,
he's Marin. He's even older than good old Score.
Yeah, there's arrow's going to land on the bottom side. The bubble's there as well, but Sangyun, the flash from Deft, turns around. He's going to be able to pick that one up, but now can Key offer one back? Gets it with the ebb and flow. It's a double, and Mata is in so much trouble. The double kill from Key, as there's the flash, doesn't get the stun, and the bubble underneath the turret. He should survive this one. Oh my God, Score's going to die. But Key is huge.
It's a Fed Nami. 4-1-0 is the Nami out of nowhere. Big smile comes through from Key. Songwon front row says, well, that was interesting. I'm going to take a Drake. Oh boy, everything's a disaster for KT.
Yeah, I mean, the gold lead is basically nothing because we're not exactly getting objectives after it. Thankfully, the Ocean Drake is going to be the first one here on the map for Hanwha Life Esports. If Songwon can grab it, he's got the smite. He will be able to take that one down.
How do you lane against a 4-1-0 Nami? Is a question that never has been asked before.
Yeah, and I guess we're going to find out. Deft and Mata, I think if you're going to give anyone, you know, the wherewithal to be able to get it done, I'd give it to them as Yukal. He's in a bit of trouble here as Mata turns up at the right time. Deft here as well. Binding going to go wide. The arrow is not. KT, we'll see what they can get done. Linderong going to be able to get himself a stun here as he's behind enemy lines and taking a lot of damage. He's not that tanky yet as Linderong wants to get his health bar back, and that's just feeling like a straight-up mistake. Yukal wants it. Paddlestar goes wide as Lava turns up. Trouble Bubble secures it in the end as Score grabs the kill, and now Deft in trouble on the bottom side. Good God, this game is so bloodthirsty, and Songwon underneath the turret is going to walk out with 100 health.
We Fiesta pace right now. 11 kills, 9 minutes. Bot lane goes down. The Nami, bloodthirsty as always, gets an assist, and they're trying to take the turret.
Yeah, Mata's going to walk up just in case we wanted more kills as Deft. He will teleport to get himself back down to this lane. So no first brick to come in for Hanwha Life off this one, but that tower is well and truly ready to fall. And let's have a look at this one again.
So what happens here? It's a level 6 first, so Sangyun only hits 6 at the end, but does get the CC on Mata, so Mata doesn't really contribute anything. Deft gets greedy, but Key already has ebb and flow off cooldown. Mata took free damage from minions as this started, so he goes down as well. And Score says, I'm going to get you, but he misses the flash, so he doesn't get the stun. Key gets way further under the turret than he should. This should have been an overall 2 for 2, but ends up being 3 kills for the River Lord Nami.
And there was a bit of extra amazingness from Key there as well, because he put the bubble down, caught Score in it, and gave himself the movement speed that you basically never talk about by landing on an ally. So even gets a little bit further away from Score, and means that he has to waste even more time.
Yeah, I mean, Score bows that one up. He needed to be able to hit the flash. He didn't. Goes down.
I just get excited about being able to talk about Nami Bubble's movement speed.
That's fair. Again, first Nami in over a year.
Yeah.
But
oh, that's embarrassing.
We have to also remember that the Camille has been pretty significantly nerfed for the jungle in this patch. Hookshot lost a lot of damage as you rank up. At level 9, and you expect 5 points in Hookshot so you can gank with Burst, it loses 55 damage, which is an insane amount of burst damage to be losing on an ability. Those kills as the game goes on might be even more difficult for Score to pick up, but at least with 3, the Trinity Force won't be super late.
Well, as we were checking out that replay, it was Hanwha Life Esports grabbing that first turret on the bottom side of the map, so now their first truly recognizable lead. So UCal wants to be able to find the paddle star, doesn't get this trouble bubble, and KT was setting up.
Really, I've said it 3 times, early pickup here from the Nami. She has a Mikhails at 10 minutes into the game.
God.
And they're against Varus and line skill shot engage from Zoe, Varus, and the Morgana. It is going to be so useful because other brush that they couldn't face check with Kindred, with Syndra, is now going to be possible because the Mikhails will be a nice get out of jail free card for one person.
Yeah. Likely to be Songwon because they don't have a lot of good face checkers like you were talking about. Linderung will be in a side lane a lot of the time this game. He's the only one that can do it for free. Like that you illustrate it, Papa and KT, certainly on the back foot at this stage. Binding going to go wide.
We almost never see a Mikhails, maybe 4th item at 45 minutes into a game. For it to be there at level 1 is, at this early in the game, 10 minutes in, is so important to talk about because nobody scrimmed against a Mikhails Nami at 10 minutes. It warps the games in ways you might not consider. As speaking of warping.
Yep, arrow's going to land, and all of the buttons are pressed, but not quite enough. Stopwatch meta, certainly a bad news story for the Syndra in the mid lane, and UCal survives.
So the stopwatch, able to get away from that one. So no ability to grow the lead here for Hanwha, which is 2,300 gold, basically a Mikhails, to come back to that.
As
Mundo's all alone.
Yeah, once again, going where he pleases, which is not necessarily what they want. Songwon thinking about jumping over with the Dance of Arrows, but doesn't. And it's going to be the ultimatum cancelled by Score, and Linderung walks away.
All right. Kind of hard to tell where the game is at right now. Certainly you can say that Hanwha Life have the more reliable engage because the Mikhails kind of negates the Black Shield.
So close from UCal.
They've already taken down 1 turret and on the precipice of taking down this mid lane turret as well. Zoe will have very few places to farm with 2 outer turrets already down. A lot of snowball potential for Hanwha Life with the sort of lead they have.
An amazing siege from this team as well. If you have a look how it's been built, Linderung, meat shields in the front, and then you've got Lava, Sungyun, and Songwon all following up from behind with good dive escape utilizing the Lamb's Respite. Oh, it's a scary match. Not to mention the fact that we're on a disengaged support for Key in the Nami that we've been talking about a lot, but we'll still have to figure out how it's going to be navigated in these team fights when he has so much of the money.
And the team fights are inevitable because the engage to break that siege is huge from the side of KT. They have Ornn, they have Camille for the guarantee, and also pick on all 5 champions. Everybody here has pick CC for KT Rolster, but they don't have items. It's Merc Treads and Lost Chapter on a Zoe. There's no threat there. She has to go Mercs against Syndra. Very, very standard thing we've seen for a long time. And UCal went Ignite for lane control rather than the cleanse that we saw come through from Lava. So a lot of concerns there, unless Mata is also in the lane. Deft really wants to CS because he's 1 away from cashing in. Yep, there is the cull for him.
Gonna grab him that 300 extra gold. And talking about the mid lane, Lava has a gigantic CS lead. 40 CS ahead on the Syndra. Certainly does have a lot of lane prowess, but that is a pretty large advantage that he managed to pick up, as now Smeb, he wants to kill an Ashe.
There's a lot of people congregating topside. Here's Key as well.
Binding was close. Songwon takes a lot of damage there, but you can see Key, ebb and flow now that it's got a few points in it and he's so fed, is doing a bunch of work healing him back up again.
Good read by Sungyun. He went for a lane Hawk shot, which did spot Score. That's why you saw the minions aggro towards the brush, even though there was a control ward in it. KT know it's all about base defense for them. They've already lost 2 outer turrets. The Rift Herald is something they want to defend as well. If they clump, an Ornn ultimate could completely run them over. Nami, for now, is very, very squishy. Rift Herald started.
Yep. In vision of KT, they've got an Ornn on the bottom side with no teleport, so I don't think they're going to be able to get much done here as Deft, if he lands the piercing arrow, he will take a bunch of damage, but nope, Shelly's just going to be taken. Songwon should be able to take that one into whichever lane he wants and continue this snowball for Hanwha Life when it comes to all of the objectives that they've picked up. In fact, everything, apart from kills, has gone the way of Hanwha so far this game, and they're going to waste no time. Shelly already unleashed on the top lane.
So the big thing for Hanwha Life with a comp like this that'll have trouble face-checking outside of the Mundo who'll be split pushing is, you want 3 outer turrets down as early as possible. Control wards and maintain control top side after you take the Infernal, and then you just rush Baron. You have insane Baron damage with Kindred, Ashe with the Blade, the Ruin King. Syndra can help. They have good turn off Baron, but they need to do it early because of their lack of frontline. So breaking the top lane outer turret is so important to start that checklist that coalesces in the one big objective of Baron.
Yeah, speaking of the checklist, KT need to slow this game the hell down as quickly as possible, get to that point where they can safely get those team fights that they're looking for. Certainly when they want them, they will be able to find them. They really do need to slow it down, get those items that we were talking about, relax.
A lot of damage on the carries for the side of Hanwha Life. 3 kills onto the Kindred. She's the one damage dealer who's been able to pick up a lot of gold. Amusingly, Nami doing similar damage to her Ashe and most of her lineup.
Yeah. Ebbs and flows, man. They've just been real good.
If you think about it, ebb and flow and a roller coaster, they have pretty similar ups and downs implied.
That is very true.
Maybe KT needs to play Nami.
Unfortunately, they're all downs for the opposing side.
True. Songyun can walk with pretty much impunity. Not a lot of worry about where the enemy is. Had a lane ward also, just in case there was someone pesky looking for an engage. And scores good start. It's kind of been aborted. Just has a phage now towards the Trinity Force. So
yeah,
the pre-30-minute dream is now kind of up in the air as to whether you can complete that Triforce in time.
Speaking of, it's going to be a phage picked up by someone as well. Probably moving towards the Black Cleaver for the Kindred. It's been a lot of red items for Kindreds just in general. Rapid Fire Cannon or Hurricane to come in after that.
I, for one, would love to see a Trinity Force, but
yeah,
probably unlikely, given the armor stacking that's going to come out of the Ornn. Yukal, we already mentioned the struggles of a Zoe with no turret. He's playing pseudo-turret duty of a control ward and sticking back and waiting for Q cooldowns.
Yeah, also a Zoe without a stopwatch as well, which is what really kept him healthy against Lava earlier on. Def just going to move on down here, does avoid the Scryer's Bloom.
Kind of makes you want another game of Zoe versus Syndra, because the game was so bloody, it's hard to say whether it was all the matchup. We know the matchup is good because Zoe doesn't really have any fight back against Syndra. She's standing in a minion wave. But I mean, also the ult following the Realm Warp, but
other thing is that Lava is sort of very stationary himself, so it can be volcanic in both ways.
Well, the pendulum definitely swung CS-wise heavily to Lava.
Well, Trouble Bubble's going to land. There's a whole lot of damage, but Chains of Corruption not going to be able to follow the flash. And now Score looking for a flank, just gets exploded by Lava. Stopwatch is there to keep him alive for a little while, but Arrow from downtown is going to be enough to do it. Songwon was trying to dance for more, but it's still an advantage for Hanwha Life.
And KT's blushes are only spared by the fact that we're only 18 minutes into the game. There's no Baron to turn on. They'll continue to disengage. Hanwha Life will want to try that again in 2 minutes and try to make that Baron work.
Yep, Yukal still looking for more here, but half a health bar of Amundo is not something that you ever really care about. Clearing out minion waves, but still, the siege potential from this team well and truly in effect. And Yukal just going to get stunned, watches his tower fall down in the mid lane.
Bit of a burst of speed to Songyun, gets the movement speed from that Nami passive a couple of times, get to top side and start pushing out. KT Rolster, can they stick any vision around Baron as it comes to spawn? Already mentioned how much Baron damage there is and turn ability from Hanwha Life. That is what they desperately want. As KT feeling strong enough to try to walk up to this turret as Deft.
Yeah, Songyun that's actually teleporting in here, so it's not necessarily like he's going to get chased down by Amundo. It looks like Deft actually pretty keen to hang around, try and clear out some of these minions, but now Hanwha Life going to move up in force, make their way in. One thing I've been really impressed with by Hanwha is they decide when they want to fight, and they put about 1 million wards down to make sure that they can get the fights that they want. You can see the top side, there's still control wards sitting there, very close to one another, so they can look around these corners.
And they're really hard to scout because you don't expect double control ward at 20 minutes around that area. They're going to pull one away. But, yep, the Baron spawned, so Hanwha Life eventually going to keep trying that Baron. We'll see if KT can keep them honest around the objective.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of good ways to check it either. Especially not with the fact that, you know, Smeb wants to be in a side lane.
One blue trinket on Deft, currently on cooldown. And of course, when you have that Baron vision, ducking into the minion wave and chasing it towards the inner turret is an option as well. The ward that's at 2 hits they should know about is currently still alive.
Yeah. So getting a little bit of free information, but KT certainly well and truly on the back foot.
How many control wards? 3 in the inventory for KT at the moment.
Well, Arrow is going to land on Discord. He tried to get himself out, but the follow-up, it's going to be there. It's a big old wave, and Sungyun clears out the jungler once again, and now Deft has to deal with lava. He flashes out of the way. Not a lot of cooldowns here available, but the rest of the cavalry has turned up.
Mikhails.
He gets a cleanse. I mean, that's a bit... No, it was the Mikhails, like you say. Doesn't even get the summoner spell, just gets the item from Key.
Yeah, that was always going to be a kill. Eventually, Deft accepts his fate, and Hanwha Life say, how about that 20-minute Baron that Papa Smithy was talking about? Let's kill it.
Yeah, I've been listening to you, Papa. It's like it should be pretty easy. Linderong should be able to play backup duty here.
Has a smite.
They're all going to walk in. Oh, God, that's scary. This is definitely a 50-50 as they get the knock-up with the Ornhorn. They're trying to soften them. Remember, it's an early Baron Yukal. Can he jump in at the right time? Portal jump going to be so useful. Flashes in and steals the Baron. Picks that one up for himself. Is on the Lamb's Respite, but will jump out. And KT say, thanks for the leash, boys. We'll take it to mid lane.
You got to turn the moment you see the smite. You got to go for it. They don't, and now they have egg all over their faces. Yukal, with a picked-up smite, is able to take it away. The counterfeit might as well be the real thing. That is a good fake right there. And suddenly, it's the first good moment for KT in about 16 minutes.
Yep, and this is the most KT game that we've ever seen thus far. Thanks for it, Hanwha Life Esports, as the Baron just stolen by the W.
The problem is, it gets to 3,000. They know that Yukal can poke it, and they say, let's just rush it down. They don't do it smart. Songwon actually ulted towards the end. He could have ulted earlier because then the Baron can't die.
Yeah, save the Baron, yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily get them closer to killing it themselves, and maybe everyone falls low. There wasn't really a good decision to be made around that area except for Peel. They didn't Peel Atlas, so yep, they get what they deserve.
Well now, what does it mean for what KT can do to bring themselves back into this game? They've got some very low outer turrets and a lot of standing gold. This game could honestly be equalized apart from Dragons that Hanwha Life still have a monopoly on.
5,000 gold. Double Infernal. They can wait out the Baron from KT. The KT Baron is a non-game clincher rather than something that should initiate. Speaking of initiation.
Mata just soaks it. Interesting.
Happens.
Yeah.
Watching Hanwha Life walk in. The minion wave very far away, so they're just looking for a pick they're not going to get.
Yep. A lot of pressure is being put on here as Linderong will catch that wave on the top side of the map, and KT haven't got any use out of this Baron as of yet.
Will be mark number 6 for Songwon if he gets it.
Yeah, remember, even if you don't pick up the red buff, 6 seconds after you hit it, still going to be able to grab it.
So 6 marks of the Kindred now for those watching at home.
Yeah, he's real scary.
Watching Hanwha Life, just trying to play one lane against Baron buff. You'd imagine that KT would love to play multiple, but if they're just able to force the remaining Baron buffs of KT to contest them at objectives, Hanwha Life feel like, well, this is a good way to run down the clock, and then they can try to make something happen in 1 minute 10.
Yeah. I mean, what you were talking about before was the fact that Hanwha Life did want to accelerate the pace of this game, though. So not going to be able to do that if they have to wait for this Baron. However, Linderong, up here towards the top side, probably pretty happy to brawl with Deft.
Is that 7 marks? You see the next extension of range. Speaking of range,
yeah,
taking a bit of damage.
Wave flies through. Bubble's going to go wide and not going to be able to get Scatter the Weak for any stuns either. He's going to go back home. We'll be able to get back here in time for the next minion wave as Mundo. He's moved over, and Deft very far pushed out. I have a feeling the Mundo could straight up kill him, but he's got a BF sword as well as his first 2 items. Deft is relatively strong.
Someone desperate for that next mark of the Kindred, then he actually outranges Varus and gets to 600 range, right now 575.
Yeah.
Risky here. Yukal has items, but it is standing behind the minions. They want to go for this siege, and remember, during a Baron buff power play, we're seeing turrets go the way of the enemy team. A surefire sign is not going to be a huge Baron buff power play.
Yeah, precisely. However, it's going to be a pretty good game slower downer. Yeah.
That's a really nice use of the English language there.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I just like extra syllables.
Deft, I don't think you can actually kill Mundo, so back away. Deft did go for AP, Varus, you'll remember, at Rift Rivals.
He did.
Went for Blade of the Ruin King here because he needs Blade of the Ruin King to get through double ranged. Ashe and Nami is a lot of harass, as of course everyone found out trying to harass down and kill the Nami on the turret. So have to go the AD start, and then from there it doesn't really make sense to digress into AP.
See what he turns this BF sword into? I'd like an Infinity Edge, given the fact that he already has a bit of crit built up with the Hurricane.
If I look at the enemy team, I see a lot more value in GA though, because the enemy team's pretty squishy. So
yeah,
Infinity Edge for killing Mundo is nice. I feel like maybe he has more imminent problems with how much damage there is in the other team though.
Speaking of killing Mundo, he does just go back and get an Executioner's Calling. So going to delay either the GA or the Infinity Edge, depending on what he wants to go with.
If it's 3 tanks or even a tank support, I understand IE, but if you go IE and Syndra just flash ults you, you kind of die, so it doesn't really make sense. In this particular game, I'd be very surprised to see it. Still, KT bought themselves another life by stealing away the Baron. Game has slowed down a little bit. Hanwha Live still have everything to fall back on, including the double Inferno with a third on the way. But the game was going to be straight up over if the Baron went down, and now KT is trying to regroup and get items that didn't look like they were going to come.
Yeah, and they've been able to grab Vision as well. Towards the top side of the map, probably not going to be able to grab this blue buff that got a very long way away from home.
There is that 7th mark of the Kindred, and that means he's now at 600 range. So Ashe and Kindred now.
Good God. That's real scary. Songwon very happy at the moment.
Every 3 levels from now on, every 3 marks of the Kindred, it is an extra 25 range for those following at home. Don't often see 10 to 13, but it can happen in a long enough game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just, soon it's going to be global, you know? Is there a cap? I'm not sure what the cap is.
I think the cap is a 750 range, which would be obviously a lot of marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Songwon. Big range, big damage, but no Trinity Force. It is going to be a Trinity Force built, though, so that's pretty hype.
Yeah, he's going for it. Zeal is being picked up now. Wait, actually, hang on. No, it's not. That's the old Trinity Force. That should be a Stinger.
That's true. I guess Rapid Fire Cannon, Black Cleaver eventually. So it's a movement speed Kindred.
Yeah, it's also a variety bucket Kindred.
Well, he didn't want to die. He needed the QSS. Good catch there.
Yeah.
I had Stinger on the mind, but went for the Zeals. Maybe the Korean casters did too.
Yeah, there was something really exciting going on over there, but we're watching a different game, obviously. Linderung split pushing on the bottom side. The group of 4 of Hanwha Life are going to move up, get themselves spotted out, because everyone's just going to be backing. Hanwha Life not going to be able to kill Deft, who was waiting in that brush for a very long time. Trinity Force now done for score, at least. Ninja Tabi just got finished by Deft when he went home, so even further time waiting to turn that BF sword into anything.
Meanwhile, speaking of BF swords turned into things, Sung Yoon is pretty decked out with his Infinity Edge.
And QSS as well, not to mention the Mikhails' Horn. They're looking for lava. He flashes but doesn't get out of the knock-up as Deft wants to be able to find it but can't risk losing the flash to get the Chains of Corruption. They put the ult in, but don't get anything out.
Clen's still up on lava, so the flash would have been a bad idea. Smeb's trying to face check.
Yeah, well, he certainly does do exactly that. Tidal Wave does come in as well as Arrow is going to land. They want to just kill Mata, and they're going to do so. Linderung finds the backline access, and now Varus, not a lot he can do. Flashes over the side, but he can't get there as Lamb's Respite comes in first, and Hextech Ultimatum ain't going to save you there, buddy. Yukal getting run down. The flash for Linderung to get it just before the stun comes in, and Hanwha Life, who needs a Baron? They just want to break the base.
They could be able to end the game on this push. So what, 30 seconds on Deft, trying to zone away Smeb. He's not going to get a back off. I think Hanwha Life just win it here.
Yep, Key's just going to hunt him down. The Fish trying to take him out, and she should be able to do so. Bubbles all the way in. They've got some minions. They've got a lot of damage, especially considering Sun Yoon's Infinity Edge. Linderung almost died, but that's an open Nexus, and there's an 80 carry or 2 here for them to deal with. Hanwha Life Esports will be able to get the upset against KT, who went undefeated at Rift Rivals, defeated as soon as they came home.
And a lot of people knew that there could definitely be Hanwha Life picking up games. They won game 1 against Kingzone, but went on to lose that series. KT looked a bit sleepy. They started so well, but then KT, they got too excited. Atlas, they started to turret dive. They turret dive Nami. It did not work out. From there, kind of a litany of errors on both sides, but largely and more importantly on the side of KT, even stealing a Baron from a damn counterfeit Smite wasn't enough to keep them in the game. Deserved victory for Hanwha Life.
Yeah, and 11 kills in the first 9 minutes of the game as well. It was bloody, it was chaotic, there was all sorts of craziness going on. It's exactly what we wanted from this KT roller coaster type match. Wasn't the clean, controlled play that we have seen from them before. It's the playbook completely thrown out, and KT doing exactly what KT does best, and it's to surprise you.
And watch the last replay, was able to get the nice ultimate there. Sungyu had free target selection because Morgana's Black Shield was on cooldown. They chased it down, and this is when the damage dealers are basically too far ahead of the enemy team. We already talked about how Mundo's best role is to shut down an AD carry or a siege mage like Zoe. Goodbye Yukal, goodbye KT. And another smart draft in another game like that will be both amusing and potentially be a KT going down 5-4 in the first round robin and being right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, and it was Zoe not necessarily getting very much work done at all. I mean, Yukal did not have his best game on Summoner's Rift here today. Unfortunate stuff for KT Rolster fans. I wonder whether this means we see a Kind Boy join the jungle. Felt like Score putting his face in it multiple times in the mid-game was a little bit of a problem. However, his early game execution was once again beautiful to watch.
Yukal played very well at Rift Rivals, warming up after a rough start, but he got rolled over by Lava. Lava might be moving towards 600 MVP points. He was very good. Key will probably get the nod for getting the bloodthirsty triple kill. But Lava's Syndra. I think we'll see more Syndra versus Zoe. Let's see if we need more data points to fully understand it. It looked good on paper. In execution, even better.
Yeah, the damage numbers actually looking pretty damn good as well for everyone here. Support's doing a lot of work, about 5,000 damage each for the Morgana and the Nami. Damn, guys, Game 2 is coming up right around the corner. You don't want to miss it, because it could be just as bloodthirsty as game number 1.